This was just the beginning. Up next, Chapter 2, Unmasking the Real Enemy.
You've been told forgiveness is a virtue, but virtues, like viruses, mutate when they're weaponized. Let's dissect the anatomy of this infection. Nietzsche saw it coming. In the dim glow of his candlelit desk, he scrawled, "Forgiveness is the tyranny of the weak over the strong, not because forgiveness is inherently evil, but because society twists it into a tool of control. The weak, those who cannot confront their pain, demand forgiveness to avoid the shame of their own fragility. The strong, those who feel too mushar, shamed into compliance. Stop being so sensitive. Let it go." Sound familiar? Nietzsche's warning. Forgiveness culture is a covert hierarchy. It elevates the offender, who needs only to apologize, and infantilizes the offended, who must perform grace. The result? A moral economy where harm is free, but accountability is taxed. Jung would agree. He'd point to your shadow, the part of you that rages, that refuses, that knows. Forgiveness culture demands you exile this shadow, bury it under platitudes like peace and closure. But Jung warned, everyone carries a shadow, and the less it is embodied in the individual's conscious life, the blacker and denser it is. When you forgive prematurely, you're not healing. You're outsourcing your shadow to the collective. Your unresolved pain doesn't vanish, it metastasizes. It becomes the anxiety you can't name, the trust you can't reclaim, the emptiness that no amount of yoga or mindfulness can fill. Schopenhauer took it further. He called mercy the aesthetic of morality, a performative spectacle. When someone says, "I forgive you," what they're really saying is, "I'm strong enough to rise above this." But Schopenhauer saw the rot beneath the performance. Mercy, he argued, is often fear dressed in silk, fear of conflict, fear of being labeled bitter, fear of the abyss that opens when you admit some wounds shouldn't be forgiven. Huxley's dystopia is here. In Brave New World, he warned of a society that conditions pain into entertainment, suffering into cliché. Today, we've commodified pain into content. "I forgive you" becomes a TikTok trend. Trauma is monetized as relatable. Your healing journey is algorithmically flattened into a 15-second reel. This isn't healing, it's anesthesia. We've been conditioned to treat forgiveness as a transaction. Absolve me and I'll validate your growth. The system wins either way. The offender avoids real accountability. The victim performs recovery to avoid being ostracized. Meanwhile, the root, the why behind the hurties left to rot. Sartre would call this bad faith. Existential bad faith is lying to yourself to avoid responsibility. When you forgive too soon, you're lying about the cost of the wound. You're telling yourself, "It wasn't that bad. I'm overreacting. I should be grateful." But Sartre reminds us, bad faith is a betrayal of your own freedom. Every forced "I forgive you" is a surrender to societal scripts, a denial of your right to sit in the truth of your pain.
Even Viktor Frankl, the Auschwitz survivor who preached meaning over suffering, would recoil. Frankl's mantra, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves," has been hijacked. Forgiveness culture twists his wisdom into a demand for self-erasure. Frankl didn't forgive the Nazis, he transcended their horror by finding purpose in the unbreakable parts of his soul. His message wasn't, "Forgive to be free," but "Find meaning to defy the void." The hidden problem is this: forgiveness has become a secular religion. Its catechism is, "Let go or be damned." Its sacrament is the performative apology. Its hell is the shame of being stuck. But religions demand faith in the unseen. What if the unseen here is your right to not forgive? Consider the psychology of gaslighting. Gaslighters rewrite reality to avoid blame. Forgiveness culture does the same, but with a halo. If you just forgive, you'll feel better, they say, as if your pain is a typo to be edited, not a wound to be witnessed. This is collective gaslighting, a societal deflection. It's easier to tell you to heal than to confront the systems that let harm thrive. And so the roots spread. Philosophically, we've conflated forgiveness with moral superiority. Harm thrive. And so the roots spread. Philosophically, we've conflated forgiveness with moral superiority. Psychologically, we've pathologized anger as a disease rather than honoring it as a guardian. Societally, we've built an economy of emotional exploitation. Your pain is profitable, but only if you package it as growth. But here's the crux: you don't need to forgive to heal. You need to reckon. To stare down the truth of what was done, to let it scar, to let it reshape you. Forgiveness is optional. Clarity is mandatory.